Hey, this is Ish Monroe, getting ready to start out, 2014, brand new boat. We're gonna do a boat rigging video here, so folks, stay tuned. Here we go. This year on the Bass Elite Tour, I'm actually gonna step up a little bit and run the new Ranger 521C. This boat's amazing. I call it the battleship of boats. We've got a lot of different things that we're gonna be putting on this boat here in the next day or two. One thing about my boat rigging videos that you've seen is I like to do a lot of the work myself. Reason is I know if I ever have an issue or there's a problem, I know exactly how everything's laid out. From rigging my power poles to rigging my Lowrance graphs to rigging the jack plate. Bob's jack plate is the one that I run, to rigging the Yamaha motor. Everything's going to be pretty much done myself. I get to do a lot of stuff that you're going to see here done by Ranger from the factory that makes it a whole lot easier to make the boat rigging go. So let's check it out. Ranger 521C, the layout on this boat, you're looking at over 21 feet of boat, so it puts a lot of space. I mean, you got the full deck layout here on this boat, which means that you're comfortable fishing in any type of water conditions. I call it the battleship. I'm going to be ready for battle when I get out there, I'm going to pretty much already started putting in the smart batteries, lithium batteries that I run pretty much on my boat. The great part about the 521C is the way that it's laid out. It allows me to put 3 batteries on this side, 1 battery on the other side for my cranking, along with my lithium chargers. So, running lithium batteries has been, excellent for me. One thing, they weigh 28 pounds a piece, so you're pulling 200 pounds out of your boat, which allows your boat to go faster. It is also going to draft a lot shallower. And when I say draft a lot shallower, you're going to actually gain an inch, and sometimes that inch is just enough to get you in a place that you hadn't been able to get to before. And so the boat runs a lot smoother, plus without the weight in there, you get to put more tackle in your boat, and so you don't weigh your boat down as much. So the one thing about lithium batteries is they last a long time. You're looking at anywhere from 2,000 to 2,500 cycles, which is charges out of your battery. So you're talking about a battery that's going to last for the lifetime of your boat, over 10 years for the guy who fishes tournaments like I do, and probably more than that for the average guy who fishes about 30 or 40 days a year. So it's pretty cool to be able to have the lithium batteries in there and all the stuff that it's capable of. Well, let's start talking about some of the stuff that we're going to go ahead and put in the boat, like the power poles. Once again, running the power pole blades. I love these things. It's my boat anchor that it allows me when I'm sight fishing to anchor down, not have to worry about being blown around in the wind. Or one thing, you saw me use them down there at Lake Okeechobee when I won, when I was just flipping and it got windy. It allowed me to put the power poles down, flip around a lot, without having to move the boat, and it allows me to be quiet. And sometimes catching those big fish like I like to catch, you definitely have to be quiet and when you get in there. So running blue power pole blades to match the River to Sea wrap on the 521C. Cool thing about a lot of the process now on installing these, one thing that they do is they've sent brackets, and these brackets will actually mount to the sides of the jack plates nowadays. And the great part about the jack plates is a lot of them are coming pre-drilled. So let's go check out the jack plate that I'll be running. Performance. When you talk about full performance, you're talking about Bob's machine shop jack plates. It's the best jack plate that I believe that's on the market. The great part is you don't have to install pumps in the boats anymore. The pump actually comes in the jack plate for your hydraulic jack plate. Running a 10-inch Bob's machine shop jack plate on my 521C, it's the ultimate. These guys, they build them for those offshore racing boats that have to carry huge motors on them, and they're carrying several. And so if it's good enough for an offshore racing boat, it's definitely good enough for my bass boat. So folks, I'm about to tell you is, for me, the Bob's machine shop jack plate is the way to go. Running a 10-inch on the 21C, I'm going to be running an 8-inch on my 520C. While we're over here, you see a couple other things that we're going to be putting in. Motor Guide trolling motors. The one thing about Motor Guide is I believe it's the strongest trolling motor out there. It's one of the quietest trolling motor out there for me when I'm out there fishing. This year I'm going to be doing a lot with, my Lowrance units. As you can see, I've got a lot of different things in here right now, from structure scans to sonic hubs and the new HDS 12 touch unit, you know, guys, I know you love your football on the big screen TV on Sundays. This is your big screen TV when you're out there fishing. The HDS 12 touch is definitely the way to go. You know, for all you guys who used to have the, you know, had to do the structure scan boxes, no more. You know, you're actually going to be able to plug in your structure scan transducer right to the unit itself, and then you can plug in your sonar, your regular sonar, and you'll be able to power and the Ethernet connection. And so you'll be seeing I'll be running this from my Sonic hubs, because I'm going to have my Sonic hub, and able to link all the systems through the NEMA 2000. So I'll be able to control everything through these units right here on the 4 units. Another cool part that I like about the new units and the touch units is, you know, when I'm inserting a Navionics chart, now I only need to carry one Navionics chart that I'll be able to run through all my units off of one. So I turn on my 12 that I'm going to place in the console at the driver's console, pop in my Navionics chart, and for the lake that I'm fishing, and I'm going to be able to view that chart through all my units that I'll be running on my boat. You know, this year on my Bass Elite boat, I'm probably going to run a HDS 12 on the console and HDS 9 next to it for GPS, and then I'll be running 2 9s at the front of the boat. So it's going to have 4 touch units out there. It allows you to do a lot of different things, and you know, it's almost like being spoiled, but it allows me to do my job, you know, a lot more efficient and a lot better. So let's get into my pride and joy, the big box right here, Yamaha SHO. You know, folks, anybody that hasn't taken a test drive in the new SHO, you must do it. It's fuel efficient. The top end is amazing. It has so much torque power that it'll actually snap your head back when you go to take off. I mean, the whole shot is incredible. There's nothing bad that I can say about this motor, other than I wish I could put 2 on my boat. You know, the one thing about it, it's got the 4-stroke technology, so you're not constantly, you know, coming to the dealerships, which they love so much, to buy oil. It's basically you get an oil change every year on the 4-stroke engine, and it runs. You know, no more with the new high definition lower unit oil. Basically, when you go in, you make sure you top it off, and it's going to be good to go. You know, folks, once again, you know, it talks about the quality that Ranger puts into, you know, everything that they do, from their boats to their trailers. You know, the trailers have the road armor on them, so now when you get those little rocks that pop up from the gravel and when they're working on the roads, it actually doesn't chip your paint anymore. So this road armor is definitely going to be super tough to make sure that your trailer looks 100% every time you go out. You know, they've also, as an added option, comes with the parking brake. And so you can push the parking brake down, and your boat's not going to roll forward or roll back on you, because now the brakes are on the tires. Another cool option that I think Ranger has done, you know, is now you automatically have the plug-in. For all you guys who have these new plugs in all the trucks, you know, you don't have to worry about your plug being stolen, or you leaving it, or you forgetting it. Now it goes straight from the boat right into your truck, and so there's no more worries there about where you're going to plug your lights in. They've come out with a new tongue for this year that makes it super easy. You know, when you need to hold it up, you pop that in there, it holds it up, and you pull it out, and it locks it right back down. So the new tongue's super easy to lock down on the new boats. Another option from Ranger that I order this year is the new Hambies protector for your keel. It doesn't interfere with the performance of the boat, but it does protect the bottom of your boat, which is something that I think a lot of guys, you know, don't really pay attention to. You know, you can actually park your boat up on the launch ramp, put your power poles down, and your boat's never going to move. So the Hambies is definitely an option that, you know, you can either have installed after, but if you're ordering a brand new boat, definitely order your boat with the Hambies on there. So now, you know, another thing that I had done this year is pre-cut. Ranger can pre-cut for a Touch 9 for you guys who definitely order your own units, or you can, if you want to swap them out. Say you've got a 8 in there or a 5 in there that's been pre-cut, you can actually come to CNC or any of your Ranger dealers, pre-order a panel that's pre-cut for whatever size unit you're going to put up there. Another thing that you're going to see that I'm going to have mounted up front here is the 4000 antenna antenna by Lowrance for GPS. So I'm gonna have the 4000 mounted up here, and I'm gonna have the new one that we put on the back, that actually the arrow, as you turn the boat, the arrow turns on your units now, so you know what direction you're heading at all times without the boat even having to go forward or go back. So running the 4000 up here and running the one back there, we're pretty much going to be covered on all the bases of when I mark things that I see on a down scan, I'll be able to have this unit marked here, and then back there when I'm driving the boat looking over, you know, the structure, I can actually mark the GPS for the stuff in the back of the boat where the transducer is back there. So at all times I'm right on top of the structure that I'm going to be fishing. So running touch 9 here, touch 9 on a ram here. Let's work our way back. Now at the console, you know, I'll have a touch 12 right here mounted, right here flush in the dash. That's also going to have a structure scan on it. And then I'll be running another touchscreen unit 9 right off a RAM that's going to come up here. So once again, able to run the split screens and see everything that I need. You know, it's like having an extra computer, you know, at work. When you're working on something, you can work on something else, and having split screens are going to allow me to get a lot of things done. And, you know, these are some of the options that I'm having done at Ranger that makes it a whole lot easier. You know, one thing about running a Ranger boat is they make everything convenient and flush and neat and clean for you. You know, and talking about clean and neat, let's get into the new wheels. You know, they're a little dirty because I haven't washed down the wheels yet. Yes, guys, I know you got to have the bling bling sparkling, but the new 17-inch wheels, you know, makes the trailer look that much better on the new Ranger 521C. All right, I decided to take a break, you know, and go to lunch for, you know, less than 30 minutes, and Master Mechanic Richard here at CNC decides to jump in. He throws on the Bob's machine jack plate, he throws on the brackets for the power poles. I mean, he's already got stuff wired, and that's within 30 minutes. I mean, that's the service that you get here at CNC Marine. I mean, these guys don't mess around. They don't lack. They're on your boats. You know, you come here and you buy a boat from these guys, they're going to make sure that your boat gets rigged properly and in a timely fashion.
Good. Ready?
Yep.
Come on. Okay.
There you go.
Down a little bit. Hold it. Come straight in.
There we go. Keep going. A little more. Right there. Okay. Top.
Your brass nut right there.
On the back of the brackets for the boat cover, just because they sit in the water all the time and you don't want to get any rust. So if you ever need to replace them,
Stainless steel nuts.
The stainless steel nuts.
So the stainless steel, when you put stainless steel to stainless steel, it creates heat. So you don't want it to, and you don't want these to freeze on there either.
Basically what I'm doing is I'm running a Lowrance to the Yamaha interface cable. You can pretty much get them through LEI, which is the Lowrance parts, and what it'll do is it'll give me the temperature of the engine, it'll tell me the RPMs, tells me the water pressure. All of that information that I need to know about my engine will all be on the HDS 12 unit, so it's pretty cool. I use it as an overlay, so that's what we're running right now, is that interface cable, which connects right into the NEMA 2000. Basically, the NEMA 2000 system, for everybody that doesn't know, is a network system that runs all the way through the boat that connects all the units together. And what you do is you plug them into it with these T's. The network goes from here and continues through here, and then for something like the interface cable, you plug it in right here, you screw it down tight, and you're still running it all the way through all the units. I'm able to see everything I want to see from every single unit through this network. Basically, now we've got all the wires that go from the console to the motor, getting them lined up, and what we're going to do is we're going to tape them now. Make sure everything's straight so everything runs smooth before we put it in through the tube. Basically, it's just keeping everything clean, you know, keeping all the wires from getting any corrosion on them so that, you know, your engine runs perfectly every single time. And you should do this with any motor that you run. Oh, we're gonna pull that. It's a big one. Get it?
Okay. That one's gonna probably be a little bit tough to get through. Bring the wrench for this?
No, we're hooking up the steering. Got it? Okay, let's check. Looks good.
Oh, yeah. You should be able to take it over here to this side. From there, we should go.
We should just fish it straight across like that.
Yeah,
I was trying to get you more.
money.
Well, you got 295, my bill just said 150 now.
Upside down or something.
A little bit. Basically, you know, Yamaha 4-stroke, 7.5 quarts goes into the engine. Basically, once again, the only time you ever got to change this is when, like, you change your car. What I'll do is after the first 20 hours of break-in, I will come and drain it out and start, you know, with fresh engine oil, and then after that, you won't have to do it for the next 100 hours, which is roughly about a year. So every year, you want to make sure you come into CNC, and these guys will take care of you. Get your oil changed in your 4-stroke engine. Pull back. Folks, the boat's done. I'm so happy that the boat is done and I'm rigged and ready to go to the Bassmaster Classic with my River to Sea wrap on it. You know, one thing that's different this year than, you know, previous years in my boat rigging was Ranger did so much, you know, pre-rig for us that it made our job here at CNC Marine that much easier. You know, one thing about, you know, CNC Marine out here on the West Coast, they're great. You know, another dealer that I use is Days Boats and Auto Sales in Frankfort, Kentucky. You know, Bill Day over there, you give him a call, he's gonna rig your boat just like if I had my boats rigged. Me and him have spent a lot of time, you know, working together on, you know, getting boats rigged, and he likes a lot of my ideas and I've taken a few of his, so I combine those with the group here at CNC Marine. I feel like the best boat rigged out there. You know, first thing I want to start out with is, once again, you know, motor guide trolling motor, where I'm running the machete prop. I feel like the machete prop, it has no flex in it, so that it cuts through that grass a whole lot better. You know, another new thing that I added this year is the new HDI transducer by Lowrance. What you're able to have right here now is you're able to have down scan and regular sonar all through your units, and you can actually run it through the NEMA 2000, so all your units can actually run off this transducer when this transducer is in the water. Once again, can't live without my hydrowave speaker that I have mounted here on the top of the trolling motor. So that right there, you know, fishing without that is like, you know, basically going to a gunfight without bullets. You gotta have your hydrowave. You know, once again, mounted is the motor guide strap, the Velcro strap, which is going to keep your motor tightened down so you don't get a lot of bouncing out of it. You know, we bolted in the strap so you get no movement out of the strap there. As you can see, once again, I zip tied all the straps all the way up to the Troll Perfect. This is another thing that you're gonna see, you know, that I ran last year that you didn't get to see on my boat rigging video last year, but it's something that I ran last year. I love running it. You know, this year, what this Troll Perfect does, it allows you to apply tension to your foot pedal, and also keeps all the bearings from that rattling noise. You know, when you hit that button and all of a sudden you get that jar, that well, the Troll Perfect actually keeps that noise out of there, and that allows you to apply tension so that your foot pedal can either be tighter or looser depending on what you do with the knob right here. All the way up to the bounce buster. Still always going to run the bounce buster so you don't get no movement or play out of that. Another thing I did for my wrap is I added an extra piece of vinyl from Liquid Wraps that will actually protect my wrap from the bounce buster, so the bounce buster won't tear your wrap. So, just starting right here, let's get into the rest of the front of the boat. Folks, let me tell you, Hydrowave mounted through Velcro right here to the deck of the boat. I zip tied the power cable and the speaker cable all the way down because the power cable is actually running into the dash here, and then the speaker cable is running up the trolling motor cable here. Can't live without my cool foot. The cool foot, just a little extra added padding. I sometimes fish in flip-flops or I fish barefooted, and the cool foot's one thing is not going to let the foot pedal get too hot on me, and it's also allowing a little extra padding. You stand on your feet all day fishing 8, 10, 12 hours. Every little bit of padding helps. I use the cup holder to put my Daiwa lure retriever in. It actually fits right perfectly in the cup holder, so anytime I snag my Biggie Series crankbaits, I can go pop the Daiwa lure retriever down there. Mounted my LGC 4000 right here to the front, so when I talk about direct accuracy for punching in a GPS waypoint on the front of my boat, I am right here at the unit. So when I'm on top of that waypoint, I know that I'm sitting exactly where my unit is. Running 2 HDS 9 touchscreens. The 2 9 touchscreens basically for me is I'm gonna have standard sonar, down scan, side scan, basically covering all the structure scan on my HDS 9 unit. The one there I'm going to run, dual mapping on it. So one zoomed in and one zoomed out, so I can see pretty much where I'm going. They're all linked through the NEMA 2000 and through Ethernet cables. So one thing I'm going to be able to do is I'm going to be able to control every single one of my structure scan, from the one that's in the rear to the HDI that's on the trolling motor, all through all these units and all the transducers. One thing that I did is the one that I have mounted right here in the dash, it's connected straight to the HDI transducer, which is going to be my downscan and my standard sonar. But what I did with the second unit that I ram mounted with Lowrance is I mounted the trolling motor transducer that's connected right into the head of the trolling motor, so that if I ever have an issue and I knock my HDS transducer off, I still have a transducer at the front of the boat. Folks, once again, got to have my stiffy push-pull. The stiffy push-pull for me mounts right here in the back, right behind the seat, so it's out of my way, it's out of the co-angler's way when he's in the back of my boat, but it's easily accessible. I bolted it down with 2 Velcro straps. I built these Velcro straps myself, went to Walmart, grabbed some Velcro, actually took the straps from my battery tray straps that I cut off and used these and put the Velcro on the back of those to make for Velcro straps on the back of this boat. So the stiffy push-pull is mounted right through Velcro, makes it easily accessible, makes it easy to put right back after I'm done using it. Folks, one of the new things I am going to show you that we did different this year is the way we mounted the power poles, the hoses that go for the power poles. We've actually mounted them through the fiberglass for a neat, clean finish. That they go right through the side of the boat on each side, so they're not in the way. We've got them running right here out of the middle of the power pole bracket, running right into the side of the boat. So basically everything is completely out of the way. It's so much cleaner, so much more efficient. Another different thing that Ranger did do this year is they've also taken the cable or the plug-in for your battery charger and put it right here at the back of the boat, so it's very easily accessible with a watertight cover over it. But back to the power poles, got to run the power pole blades. I love these blades. They're actually lighter because of the holes that they drilled in them. The blue matches the boat. 8-foot blades for me running this year. I feel like the 8-foot blades are definitely, the right size, in between the 6s and in between the 10s. Got it mounted to the 10-inch Bob's jack plate. On the Ranger 521C, you must run a 10-inch jack plate, and then on the 520C, you're running an 8-inch jack plate. So I've got the power pole brackets mounted right directly to there. One thing, folks, I forgot to tell you about the Bob's jack plate is no more mounting the pumps in the back of the boat. So once again, having, you know, that extra space back there and not having a bunch of cluster in the back of your battery compartment, the pump's actually mounted right into the jack plate, which makes it for easy install, you know. Folks, let me tell you, you know, there's one old feature that you've seen on my videos before and one new feature, you know. The old one is the Sirius Marine Weather Radio, you know. I got Sirius satellite running through my Lowrance HDS 9 and my HDS 12 units. Actually, it runs through all my units that are on my boat. I gotta have my biggie when I'm out there listening, you know, old school hip hop, Shade 45. I listen to Comedy Channel, things that I do to actually relax my mind, but also getting the overlay weather, you know, on my mapping. You know, it's actually going to show me the fronts that are coming in, show me the storms, show me the direction that the wind and the storms are moving, so that I can apply that to my fishing day. You know, if I'm catching fish and it's raining and all of a sudden it stops raining, but another part of the lake has rain on it, I can actually look on my GPS unit and mapping and see that where it's raining at, and I can make the run over there. Or the same thing with cloud cover, same thing with wind direction. You know, those are the things that are going to help me to play key when I'm out there fishing, you know. So having the Sirius Marine Weather, you know, linked into your Sonic Hub and linked into your HDS unit is definitely going to help you catch more fish. Another cool thing is the Lowrance Point 1. This is new for 2014, as the new Point 1 is going to allow you to take the angle of your boat, and anytime you see that arrow that's on your boat when you're running down the lake, and now when you make the turn to the left, it's going to turn right there with you instantly. The antenna for this is actually capable of running up all 4 units at any time. So now I got it pointing directly at the front of the boat, not angled towards the front, but pointing directly straight in front of me. So now when I make a right turn, the arrow is going to turn with me. I make a left turn, the arrow's going to turn with me. I know a lot of you guys, you get so zoomed in on your GPS points, but yet you can't find some. So now when you make that left turn to the boat, it's going to show you that arrow turning right away. So that's going to be pretty cool. The new Point 1 is definitely going to be the way to go. But one thing about when you're mounting the Point 1, the rule is that you actually have to mount it at least 4 feet from the engine cowling, because there's actually something magnetic between the Point 1 itself and the engine cowling that they will actually interfere with each other. So as long as you mount it at least 4 feet away, you're pretty much going to be covered and not getting any interference, and the arrow's going to turn when you turn. Folks, let me tell you, on my rigging this year, once again, I'm still sticking with smart batteries. You know, the lithium batteries from Smart Battery is, for me, the only way to go. When you see how many graphs that I'm running, and you start putting that in with me running the live wells for all the big fish that I catch, along with your lights, I mean, you got to have the right battery to do the job and making sure that you're not going to run out of any juice. You know, the lithium marine batteries is, first of all, a lot lighter than gel or lead acid batteries. You know, putting 4 smart batteries in my boat allowed me to take 200 pounds out of my boat. That's actually taking a full person out of my boat. So think about it. You've got 200 pounds plus the 2 guys in the boat. It's like running with 1 guy in your boat. Another thing that I did is I mounted a spare trolling motor. I don't care what anybody says. Operator error happens a lot more than you think. You snap a trolling motor cable, you've got no way to go. So what I did is I have this fully mounted in here where it doesn't move. And so I did is I took a strap, one of the battery tray straps, and I bolted it in back here. I pushed the foot of the trolling motor all the way against the back wall, and then I took a side cutter and I cut right into the stringer on this side and actually put a hose clamp in there. And so the hose clamp holds the head down. I wrapped it with a towel so that the head doesn't get beat up, and then I bolted down the foot pedal with the same screws that I would if I was mounting it on the front of my boat. So I got a trolling motor in here, foot pedals mounted down, also with the cool foot in it, and then I moved the battery charger, the 4-bank dual pro battery charger that's actually set up for my smart battery lithium batteries, moved it over here so I have all this space free and clear. Now we're at the console. You know, for me, the captain of the ship, this is where I start at. Lowrance HDS 12 mounted in the dash. This is the big screen TV, folks. Everything you're going to need to know about conditions, everything you're going to need to know about the weather, and when you need to listen to music is all happening right here. I teamed that up with an HDS 9 on a RAM mount as well. For me, what that is it allows me to, like I said, have split screen mapping here and have full sonar with structure scan mounted here. And I'll also teamed up with, in my NEMA system, a connection to my motor that tells me RPMs, tells me engine hours, tells me how the temperature of my motor, tells me water pressure. All that stuff is all here at my Lowrance unit, even connected through my Yamaha SHO, which is connected through the NEMA system. Mounted here is my power pole. Controls up, down, side to side. I'm also able to control my power poles through my Droid. They have a Droid app that allows you to control your power poles. So you're out there and you're fishing and you want to use your phone, you can power pole down, or you sit there and you see your boat drifting away, you can power pole down right through your phone, So a pretty cool feature to have. Also mounted here is the Sonic hub. For Lowrance, for me, I run a Droid, so I'm using the USB port, or for you guys who have iPods or iPhones, you can actually plug it right into the connection right there. So here's the console. I keep my cold tags right up underneath here under the console, basically on a pin, so they're easy to grab. Got both my speakers mounted right here so I can listen to my music. It's pretty cool. The Ranger pre-mounted the speakers for me. The one thing about the Sonic Hub features, if you're in a Ranger boat, it comes with speakers, but Ranger will pre-mount speakers in there for you because the space that they allow, you actually have to have a little bit shorter speakers. So Ranger puts a high quality speaker in there. So I had my Ranger, when I ordered my boat, had them put the speakers in. And last but not least, here at the console is the cool foot. I've got it right here on the hot foot. So cool foot, hot foot, kind of contradict myself, but the one thing is like I said, I fish in flip-flops, I fish in barefooted, and so now I can drive the boat and have the cool foot down there without burning up my feet or having my feet get really rough. So now that you've seen the cockpit, the trolling motor, the motors, we're pretty much gonna get to it on the water.